Welcome back to Education Matters. Did you correctly answer all of the above? I know it's a long list, but there's a lot of things, and we're going to talk to a school principal here in just a moment about many of the things like converting classrooms and going to classes on carts in our next segment. So our next segment, we have two great educational leaders who are going to help us understand what's going on with the issue with them. First we have Kathy Hartenstine. Kathy is a member of the Wake County School Board, but also a longtime high school school principal. I think you were in elementary school actually. So she's got the experience of both leading a school and also in the policy making now on the school board. And then we have Marcin. Aaron is the principal at Leadmine Elementary School here in Wake County. Aaron also serves on a committee that actually gives advice to the school board on the issue of class size. So he has a good handle both on what he's having to do at his own school, but also what's happening across the county. So let me, I'm going to start with you, Aaron. Yes, you saw that list that we just put up about some of the things that principals are having to do. So explain to viewers exactly what's going on with this reduced class size and sort of how, and the specialty teachers and what it's doing across the school.
Right. So in Wake County alone, we're going to be, when this policy goes into place, we will be 9,500 seats short, meaning we're going to have 9,500 kids without classrooms to sit in because we can't exceed those class size numbers. So we are looking at all the possibilities, and those things include 4th and 5th grade teachers having more than 29 kids in their classrooms, taking one classroom and putting 36 kids in there with 2 teachers. So it's one classroom space with 2 highly qualified certified teachers in there, using an art room as a classroom, using a music room as a classroom. We're making recommendations to the board. We're asking them to cap some of our schools so that we don't allow more growth than they can already handle.
That's reassignment. If for parents who are watching, you're talking about reassignment, right?
That is that, yes, okay. Sir. And every school is different. And so what works in one school may not work in another. So there's a long list, and it's specifically designed for the population of students at each elementary school in Wake County.
Right. Now, Kathy, okay, I thought the intent of the class size mandate was to lower class sizes, and Aaron here is telling me that we're now seeing bigger classrooms. What's going on? Why is that happening?
I think the intent of the law is to help our students become more proficient readers and to have higher achievement. So it seems like lower class size is the answer, but it's not the answer because it causes a tremendous amount of upheaval in our system because we cannot be able to provide the classroom space that will be required. And I don't think you're going to get what you want, which is higher proficiency for our students, more time with their teachers. It's not just about smaller class size.
And the class size cap, and the average class, what it has been, the average class size has been for K through 3, when we're talking about that, has been an average of 21 across a district. We're moving to lower numbers, 16, 17 kids, but it's a hard cap per class. And Aaron knows this, when students show up on the day one, they don't come in neat packages, right?
That's correct.
18 kids at a time?
That's right, yes. And you start in kindergarten with 18, then in 1st grade it goes to 16. So what is that going to look like for the next year? Because you try to have pretty much the same number of classes in your K-3. So it's going to produce a tremendous challenge both at the district level and at the school level.
So what, Aaron, personnel changes, I'm going to explain a little bit more in my final word, but why are specialty teachers like the 2 we just had on, 2 great teachers here in Wake County, why is that affecting them?
They chose this profession because they're passionate about the work that they do. And when using their term, water that down, they're going to lose some of that passion. Because what they want to do with students to help them achieve and make connections is going to be lost. And so we may lose highly qualified candidates in our district who may want to choose to do something else.
Well, aren't we also, Kathy, facing the fact that we may not be able to afford them at all? I mean, that's really, when you get right down to it, I mean, there's one thing about having art on a cart, there's one thing just not having art in the school at all.
And depending on how our legislature chooses to fund our art, music, and PE, yes, at this current time, we're not seeing a happy future for our art, music, and PE teachers. much less just a classroom space.
Now, are you hearing, you're on the district-wide, so you're in an elementary school, but
Yeah.
you're hearing about, are we seeing impact in the upper grades, not just fourth and fifth, but in the middle schools?
Every decision that involves money is going to have a district-wide impact. So when we start talking about having to reduce these class sizes and find space for kids, we're talking about spending money that might go to build a middle school or a high school that might have to go to build an elementary school to meet this mandate. So we are going to be affecting all students, kindergarten through 12th grade.
Does it also mean that certain, like, I don't know, advanced classes or other things that maybe certain schools might offer, they might not be able to offer anymore, simply because maybe they can't afford the teacher, but they also just simply don't have an extra classroom?
And that might be something that happens later on. It's not something we've discussed yet, because right now we're just facing that challenge of the space.
Right. Kathy, as again, you've been in Aaron's seat, but you're also now having to talk to your colleagues on the school board and ask the county commission for money.
Yes.
And talk to legislators about the impact. What do you think needs to happen?
When I look at what our challenge is, we need stays. We cannot build 14 schools by the time school starts in 1819. It is not going to happen. And we have 27 schools in Wake County that cannot accommodate the new mandate. There are ways in which we can get close to it, but we're not going to be able to do that. We need to concentrate on the learning of the students. What are the things that we can put in place that's going to benefit our students? That's our main concern. We want to have stability. We want to use our finances responsibly, but we don't have enough to be able to do what the mandate has asked us to do.
Last word from you, Aaron. What are your teachers telling you?
We're all a little bit concerned. We know that some of these options that we might have to do may not be in the best interest of teaching and learning. As a parent myself, I'm worried for my own children and what experiences they're going to have in education if we're putting 36 kids in a classroom. And that's a short-term solution that I could live with for a year. That's not something I want my child to experience for their elementary career.
So thank you both for being here. We're out of time, but I appreciate what you do every day, and also thank you for helping us understand the issue better. Thank you. After the break, this week's Leadership Spotlight.